Sub-half MOA results while breaking in the barrel with factory hunting ammunition. Guess who's got a new favorite hunting rifle? Gavin here from UltimateReloader.com. I wanted to catch you all up with the very latest on my lightweight 6.5 PRC build. This rifle shoots as good as it looks. I'm going to cover the break-in process and some of the initial results to help set the stage for the next two videos, which are going to cover bedding the barreled action to the stock and the Leupold Mark V HD scope, which I love, and I did some special things with regard to this setup. So those are the next two videos coming. Then is going to come load development, long-range shooting, all of that. Quick review. This build is built on a Pierce Engineering titanium Remington 700 semi-clone action. I've got a benchmark stainless steel core barrel here with Hell's Canyon carbon fiber wrap. I'm using a Silencer Co. Omega 300 suppressor. That's a 30 cal suppressor, which works really good with a 6.5 millimeter cartridge. I just added this MK Machine bubble level. This is a great add-on here because it attaches to the pick rail. Now, I know what you're going to say. You really want this level to the scope, but I run my scope level to the pick rail, and I've got 35 millimeter rings here. So I didn't have a 35 mil bubble level. This is a great solution for scenarios like that. I've got an accurate mag, 8-round, 300 WSM, essentially single stack mag. I've got a Red Snake tactical bottom metal, and a Trigger Tech special trigger. Running that trigger in my Remington 700 224 Valkyrie that I built. Love it. I think it's the perfect hunting trigger. I've got it set down really low right now because I'm working on, precise shooting. I might raise the poundage from a pound up to like 2 or 3, something like that, for hunting scenarios. This also features a benchmark carbon fiber stock. And I really love the ergonomics and how this rifle has come together. Let me talk about the weight real quick. So I weighed it just as you see it here, no ammunition, but with 8-round magazine, with the scope and rings, with the Harris SBRM bipod, and with the Omega 300 suppressor. So pretty much ready to rock and roll minus a sling and ammo. This rifle comes in at 11.2 pounds. And if we remove the suppressor, and the magazine, we've got 9 pounds, approximately, almost even, for the scope and rifle with no mag. And then 6.7 pounds for the rifle without the scope and rings and no mag. So the basic rifle with no suppressor and no accessories is about 6.7 pounds. Could run a little bit lighter than that, but honestly, I think this thing is going to pack awesome. I'm used to rifles equipped like this that weigh quite a bit more. And let me tell you, shooting this rifle with the suppressor, recoil is not a problem at all. I thought with such a light rifle, and a 6.5 Magnum, that I might have more recoil than I'd like, but it's a pussycat to shoot. It's absolutely awesome. So let me talk about that process. So I did a quick bore sight. It took me an additional shot to get on paper. And then I shot so I cleaned after the first round, I cleaned after the second round, and then I shot a series of 3-shot groups and cleaned between each of those successive groups. And so my first group, I was still getting kind of the rifle settled in. I was shooting off kind of a berm of snow that I had plowed, and I had my bipod legs deep down in the snow, and so I had some interesting mirage issues and stuff like that. But I saw things settled in essentially with the second group, which 3 shots went into about 0.317, I think it was, but I noticed a little bit of horizontal on it. And then I shot a 5-shot group, and I noticed quite a bit of horizontal, still with the rifle set up as is. This is a little bit later. And I thought to myself, well, I noticed that when I did my barrel channel clearance, I was a little tight on one side, and I was going to fix that later. And I thought to myself, well, that's suspicious that the front of the barrel channel is touching on one side almost. I had just a little bit of clearance, and I'm getting horizontal. So what I did is I took the barreled action out of the stock, and I did additional clearancing so that I have not quite 1/8 of an inch, between a 1/16 and an 1/8 of an inch of clearance all the way down the barrel. I tightened the barrel to action, back into the stock, tapping it on the butt stock, being careful to seat it just as it would be kind of under recoil, multiple tightenings. And using some advice I got from Ron Cinema at Benchmark Barrels, I favored a little bit more torque on the front action screw and just a bit on the back. No movement as I'm tightening that front action screw between the barrel and the stock. That's absolutely what you want. So headed back, all of this I'm shooting with the suppressor here. And the very next group, 3 shots went into 0.213 inches, and it's a nice round group, a nice cloverleaf group. What does that tell me? That tells me 2 things. One, creating that additional clearance on one side here for the barrel did take care of the horizontal that I was seeing on my groups, that spread. And 2, my bedding job is awesome because I was able to remove the barrel to action, reinstall it, torque things down, shoot a group that's under 1/4 of an inch for 3 shots. You might expect a little bit of settle in, but that just tells me that that bedding job was spot on, which I was confident with because of the lack of movement that I was feeling when tightening that front action screw. And all the while I'm using Hornady factory ammo. I started with the Hornady 147 grain ELD match ammo. And then for the very last group, I shot Hornady Precision Hunter. This is the 143 grain ELDX bullet. Yep. And this stuff shoots great, I'll have to say. I've had really good luck with it in 6.5 Creedmoor with my hand loads, but with this rifle setup as is, shooting off of, the snow, almost pretty much PRS style, but with an enhanced leather rear bag. 5 shots went into 0.488 inches, which is 0.466 MOA. Nice round group. No point of impact shift between the 147 ELDM and the 143 ELDX. That is awesome. You know what this tells me? This tells me, let's go hunting today. And I don't typically see that good of a result with factory ammo. So I think that speaks well to my build, and I think it speaks very well to the Hornady Precision Hunter ammo. And that 143 grain ELDX bullet is lethal. I took a black bear with it. If you look at the 6.5 Creedmoor white paper that I did in conjunction with Starline, there's some pictures in there of people that have taken huge elk with this bullet with 6.5 Creedmoor. So at the end of the day, this is my ultimate hunting rifle. And it's not just a hunting rifle. I know what some of you are thinking. 7 to 35 power scope, that's extreme. Well, I am extreme. I commute to work in a dually. But this rifle with 6.5 PRC is going to stretch out to 1,000 yards and well beyond. This is a long-range rifle that happens to be the perfect hunting rifle for my goals and my requirements and my specifications. I'd love to know what you think of this build and this rifle. Are you going to build a rifle like this? I've already had a couple of you indicate that in the comments from my barrel work and the main build video. I think this is a totally killer package. So if you are going to build a rifle like this, I'd love to hear what parts and what components that you're going to use. Do you have a 6.5 PRC rifle? How is it shooting for you? I'm confident, based on what I'm seeing here, that with my hand loads, this thing is going to do even better. I'm not going to be surprised if I see 5-shot groups in that 1/4 inch range, because this was just basically putting everything down on the ground, throwing on the suppressor and shooting. And it just felt like things were shooting very consistently. And that makes me really, really happy. I have really good feelings about where things are going with this rifle. And I can't wait to take it out to 1,000 yards. So again, make sure you're subscribed, with notifications, because I've got a lot more content coming, not only with 6.5 PRC, but with 300 PRC as well. There's actually a playlist on my channel where you can find all of those videos easily navigatable from the gavintoobe YouTube channel. I'm totally excited. I can't wait to share more of these stories with you. Make sure you catch the bedding video and the scope install video. I actually bedded the rings. That's something we learned at Gordy's class, and that worked totally awesome. And I've also got Ultimate Reloader t-shirts at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'm on Patreon. Got a link to the Fertile article in the video description. Check all that out. Until next time, happy shooting and happy reloading.